The attic had always been a place of shadows, a realm where memories gathered dust and secrets lingered like cobwebs in the corners. As the first light of dawn crept through the cracks in the old wooden beams, I heard them, the hushed voices of betrayal echoing through the stale air. My heart sank as the familiar timbre of my daughter, Lena, intertwined with the coarse, eager whispers of a man I had once trusted. The attic, once a sanctuary of forgotten trinkets and childhood relics, had become the stage for a treacherous act. I stood at the bottom of the rickety staircase, my breath shallow and my hands trembling. I had spent the last 30 years building a life, brick by brick, memory by memory, only to have it threatened by the very people I had nurtured. The words floated down to me, brittle and sharp, each syllable piercing my heart like a shard of glass. They spoke of plans, of money, and of my home, the sanctuary I had crafted with love, now reduced to a pawn in a game too cruel to comprehend. "Just sign the papers, Dad," Lena urged, her voice low and insistent. "It's just business. You don't need this place anymore. We can start fresh." The man's laugh was a dark echo, filled with a predatory hunger that made my stomach churn. "You'll be free of that burden, Lena. The old man won't even know what hit him. We'll take care of everything." The betrayal washed over me like a cold wave, leaving me gasping for air. I had always seen Lena as a reflection of my hopes, a bright light in the darkness of my past. But now, in the depths of her voice, I heard the chilling resonance of greed. I had sacrificed so much for her, yet here she was, plotting my downfall. As I turned away from the staircase, the weight of my emotions pressed down on me, heavy as the attic's wooden beams. I needed air. I needed to think. I stepped outside onto the porch, the frigid morning air biting at my skin, grounding me in the reality I had been so desperately trying to escape. My mind raced, a whirlwind of thoughts colliding. How could she do this to me? How could she betray our family? Yet, beneath the initial shock, a flicker of clarity emerged. They didn't know who I truly was. They saw me as a frail old man, someone who could easily be pushed aside. But they had no idea of the depths of my knowledge, the resources I had quietly amassed over the years. I had spent decades building connections, learning the ins and outs of the law, all while remaining in the shadows, unnoticed. I was a quiet observer, but I was far from weak. As the sun began to rise, casting a golden hue over the neighborhood, I felt a surge of determination. I would not be a victim in this twisted scheme. I would fight, but first I needed to gather my strength to strategize. I needed a lawyer, someone discreet who could help me navigate the treacherous waters that lay ahead. I retreated back into the house, the walls closing in around me as I felt the weight of my decisions settle over me like a cloak. I would call my lawyer, but not yet. Not until I had all the pieces in place. I needed to play this right. I had to let Lena believe she was winning, that her plan was foolproof. I would bide my time, and when the moment was right, I would strike back with a calculated precision that would leave them both reeling. The attic door creaked open once more, and I could hear Lena and her accomplice laughing, the sound grating against my nerves. They were celebrating a victory that had yet to be won, blind to the storm brewing just beneath the surface. I took a deep breath, steadying myself as I reached for my phone. I dialed my lawyer's number, the ring echoing in the stillness of the morning. Each beep felt like a countdown to the reckoning I had planned. When he answered, I spoke in a low, steady voice, careful to keep my emotions in check. "I need your help," I said, my resolve hardening. "It's urgent. We have a situation." As I hung up, the weight of my decisions settled over me, a protective shield against the chaos that threatened to engulf me. I was a father betrayed, an old man underestimated, but I was also a man with a plan that would turn the tides of this insidious betrayal. The sun rose higher in the sky, illuminating my path forward. I would watch, I would wait, and when the time came, I would reclaim what was rightfully mine. I would teach them a lesson they would never forget. one that would echo through the generations. The dawn of a new day had arrived, and with it, the promise of justice. The dawn creeps into my room, the light filtering through the thin curtains like a cautious intruder. I lie there, heart thrumming in my chest, replaying the chilling conversation I overheard in the attic. The air is thick with the scent of dust and betrayal, a potent reminder that my daughter, Mylena, has woven a web of treachery right beneath my roof. I rise from the bed, the floorboards creaking beneath my weight, as if they too lament the loss of trust. I slip into my worn slippers, the fabric soft against my feet. Each step I take down the hallway feels like wading through molasses, heavy with the weight of revelation. Memories of Lena as a child flood my mind, her laughter echoing through these halls, her small hands clutching my fingers as we explored the garden. Those moments now seem like faded photographs, relics of a past that no longer exists. As I reach the kitchen, the sun breaks fully over the horizon, casting long shadows that stretch across the floor. I pour myself a cup of coffee, the rich aroma swirling around me, momentarily distracting me from the storm brewing in my mind. I glance out the window, watching as the world awakens. The chirping birds, the rustle of leaves in the gentle breeze. Outside, life goes on, blissfully unaware of the dark undercurrents swirling within my home. I sit at the kitchen table, the smooth wood cool beneath my palms, and pull out my phone. The screen glows, illuminating my face in the dim light. I scroll through my contacts until I find my lawyer's name, a beacon of hope amidst my turmoil. My finger hovers over the call button, hesitation gnawing at me. Am I ready to confront this? Am I ready to expose Lena's betrayal? The thought sends a shiver down my spine, but I push it away. I have to reclaim my life. I tap the screen, and the phone rings, each chime echoing in the silence of the kitchen. After a few rings, a gravelly voice answers. "Mr. Carter, how can I help you?" "James," I say, my voice steady despite the tempest within. "I need to meet with you as soon as possible. It's urgent." "Of course. What's going on?" His tone sharpens, concern lacing his words. "I overheard something. Something about my daughter and a man I thought I could trust." I take a deep breath, steadying myself. "I need your guidance. It's about my house and finances. Let's meet at my office in an hour. I'll prepare the necessary documents. Don't worry, we'll figure this out." The call ends, leaving me alone with my swirling thoughts. I rise from the table, my hands trembling slightly as adrenaline surges through me. I can't let Lena think she's won. The attic, once a place of nostalgia, now feels like a crypt, sealing away the remnants of our fractured relationship. I need to confront her, but first I must arm myself with knowledge. The hour drags on, each tick of the clock echoing in my mind like a countdown. I dress in a crisp button-up shirt, the fabric a reminder of the man I once was, a man of confidence, a man of authority. I glance in the mirror, scrutinizing my reflection. The lines etched on my face tell stories of struggle and sacrifice, a testament to the life I've built. But they also reflect the vulnerability that now gnaws at my core. As I step outside, the morning sun greets me, its warmth a stark contrast to the chill that clings to my heart. I climb into my car, the engine rumbling to life, and drive toward James's office. The streets are bustling with early risers, their faces a blur as I navigate through my thoughts. I'm a ship lost at sea, searching for the lighthouse to guide me home. Arriving at the office, I take a moment to collect myself before stepping inside. The air is cool, the faint smell of coffee and paper mingling in the atmosphere. James greets me with a firm handshake, his presence steadying in the midst of my turmoil. "Come in. Let's talk." We settle into his office, the walls lined with bookshelves filled with legal tomes and case files. He gestures to a chair opposite his desk, and I sit down, feeling the weight of the world resting heavily on my shoulders. "Tell me everything," he urges, leaning forward, his eyes keen and focused. I recount the events of the morning, the hushed whispers in the attic, the chilling realization that Lena and her accomplice are plotting against me. Each word spills from my lips, heavy with betrayal and disbelief. As I speak, I can see the gears turning in James's mind, his expression shifting from concern to determination. "This is serious," he finally says, his voice low. "We need to act swiftly. Do you have any documentation? Anything that might strengthen your case?" I nod, the memories flooding back. "I have the original deed to the house and financial records, proof of my investments. Lena thinks I'm senile, that she can take everything I've worked for. But I'm not finished yet." James nods, a glimmer of respect in his eyes. "It's time to show her that you're not to be underestimated. We'll draft a letter outlining your intentions and send it to her. It's crucial we catch her off guard." A sense of urgency ignites within me, replacing the numbness that had settled in my bones. "And the man she's involved with? What do I do about him?" James leans back, contemplating. "If he's an accomplice, we can gather evidence to ensure he doesn't play a part in this. I'll launch an investigation. We need to know who he is and what he's after." The thought of Lena being swayed by this man's influence makes my blood boil. I can't allow her to think she can manipulate me to take what's rightfully mine. "I want to be proactive," I say, my voice firm. "I want to put the fear of God into them." James grins, the corners of his mouth curling up as if he senses my newfound resolve. "That's the spirit. We'll show them who's really in control." As we draft the letter, my heart pounds with anticipation. Each word is a declaration of war, a promise to reclaim my life. I can almost taste the bitterness of revenge on my tongue, a sharp contrast to the sweetness of justice. Once we finish, James hands me a copy. "Read this over carefully. Once it's sent, there's no turning back." I take the letter, feeling its weight in my hands, an anchor in the storm. The ink is still fresh, a testament to my resolve. "I'll send it today, I promise," my voice steady, the fire within me burning bright. As I leave the office, the sun hangs high in the sky, illuminating my path forward. The air feels different now, charged with possibility. I'm no longer the man who cowered in the shadows. I'm stepping into the light, ready to confront whatever awaits me. Returning home, I find the house shrouded in a deceptive tranquility. Lena's laughter drifts from the living room, the sound stabbing through me like a dagger. I take a deep breath, steeling myself against the emotions that threaten to overwhelm me. I enter the living room, finding her sprawled on the couch, her phone in hand. She looks up, a bright smile lighting her face, as if nothing has changed. "Dad, you're home early. How was your morning?" The facade is almost convincing, but I see the glint of something darker lurking beneath. "It was productive," I reply, my voice even, betraying none of the turmoil roiling inside. "Good to hear," she says, her eyes flickering to something behind me. I can sense her tension, the way her smile falters for just a moment. "Lena, we need to talk," I say, my voice low and steady, like a rumble of thunder before a storm. Her smile drops, replaced by a mask of feigned innocence. "Talk about what?" "About your plans and the man you're involved with." Her expression shifts, a flash of something, fear, crossing her features before she smooths it away. "Dad, I don't know what you're talking about." I step closer, the distance between us shrinking, the truth hanging thick in the air. "I heard you, Lena. You can't hide from me anymore. I know everything." The silence stretches, heavy and suffocating, as her facade crumbles. The betrayal I felt in the attic surges anew, a wave crashing over me. But beneath that wave lies a powerful current of resolve. I'm done being the victim. It's time to reclaim my life. The battle lines are drawn, and I refuse to back down. Lena may think she holds the upper hand, but she's about to learn that the tides can turn swiftly, and I'm ready to fight. The dawn light creeps through the dusty attic window, casting long shadows that stretch across the floor like the tendrils of my anxiety. I lean against the wooden beams, my heart pounding like a distant drum, each beat echoing the betrayal that thrums through my veins. I can still hear Lena's voice, sweet as honey, laced with venom. Once he signs, it's all ours, she had said, her tone dripping with a confidence that cuts deeper than any knife. I descend the narrow staircase, the familiar creaks of the wood beneath my feet suddenly sounding like a warning. Each step takes me closer to the battlefield where my daughter now stands, armed with deceit and ambition. The house, once a sanctuary filled with laughter and warmth, feels like a cage with bars painted in memories of better times. My resolve hardens with each breath. I will not let her take my life away from me. As I reach the bottom, I catch a glimpse of my reflection in the hall mirror. A stranger stares back, hair thinning, eyes shadowed with worry, but beneath the surface, a fire flickers. I straighten my back and clench my fists, feeling the coolness of the legal documents in my pocket. They are my shield, my armor against the impending storm. I step into the kitchen, where the scent of burnt toast lingers in the air, a reminder of Lena's hurried breakfast routine. The sound of clinking dishes reaches me from the dining room. She is here, likely plotting her next move with that accomplice. My throat tightens at the thought of him, the unnamed man who has wormed his way into my daughter's heart. I can't help but wonder how much she has told him about our family, about me. Dad! Lena's cheerful voice cuts through my thoughts, bright and falsely sweet. I force a smile, masking the turmoil roiling inside me. I didn't see you up there. How was your morning? I made breakfast. The sight of her, with her hair cascading down like a waterfall of golden threads, should bring warmth to my heart. Instead, it feels like ice. I'm not hungry, I reply, my voice steadier than I feel. I can't afford to show weakness, not now. More for me, then, she chirps, as if she hasn't just plotted against me with a stranger. I turn away, my heart racing, and step toward the living room, where the sunlight pours in, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. I need to gather my thoughts to formulate a plan. Sitting on the edge of the worn couch, I glance out the window, watching the world wake up. The sky shifts from dark gray to a blush of pink, a promise of renewal. I need to harness that energy, that resolve. I pull out my phone and dial James's number, my fingers trembling as I wait for him to answer. He picks up after 2 rings, his voice calm and professional, a stark contrast to the chaos in my mind. Hello, Mr. Thompson. How can I assist you today? James, I need to talk, I say, my voice low and urgent. It's about Lena. Is she giving you trouble again? He sounds amused, but I can't manage a laugh. Let's set up a meeting, then. No, it's worse than that, I say, the words tumbling out before I can stop them. She's trying to take my house. I overheard her plotting with someone. A pause hangs heavy over the line. What do you mean? Who is she working with? I don't know his name, just some man she's been spending time with, someone I don't trust. I reply, my heart racing as I reveal the extent of my fear. I need your help to protect what's mine. All right, let's meet as soon as possible. I'll draw up whatever you need to assert your rights. Don't worry, we'll get this sorted. He reassures me, but his calmness only heightens my anxiety. I hang up, the weight of the conversation pressing heavily on my chest. I stand, pacing the room as dread pools in my stomach. Time is not on my side. The thought of Lena and her accomplice plotting in the kitchen chills me to the bone. I need to confront them, to reclaim my authority before it's too late. Taking a deep breath, I walk back toward the kitchen, the air thick with tension. Lena's laughter rings out, bright and carefree, a stark contrast to the storm brewing within me. I push the door open, feeling the wood give way beneath my hand, and step into the light. Lena, I say, my voice firm, slicing through her laughter like a knife. She turns, surprise flickering across her face before it morphs back into that practiced smile. Hey, Dad. I was just... Cut the act, I interject, my tone leaving no room for argument. We need to talk. Her smile falters. Talk about what? About your plans. I heard you in the attic. The words hang between us, heavy and charged. I watch her expression shift from shock to indignation, a mask slipping to reveal the true nature beneath. What are you talking about? She demands, crossing her arms defiantly. You were eavesdropping? I was protecting myself. I snap back, feeling the protective instincts surge within me. I've sacrificed everything for you, and this is how you repay me? Plotting with some stranger to take my home. Dad, you don't understand. She starts, but I cut her off. No, you don't understand. This is my life. Lena, you think you can just walk in here, take what I've built, and expect me to stand by silently? My voice rises, filled with an urgency I can no longer contain. Her eyes narrow, and I see the gears turning in her mind. You're being dramatic. I'm just trying to make sure you're taken care of. You need help, and I'm trying to do what's best for you. Best for me? I echo incredulously. You're trying to take everything I've worked for. Do you think I'm that helpless? The tension builds, thick as a fog, and I can feel the space between us crackling. Dad, I'm just trying to secure our future. You can't hold onto the past forever, she retorts, her voice rising as emotions spill over. Secure our future? I laugh bitterly, the sound harsh in the quiet kitchen. You're only securing your own greed. Silence envelopes us, heavy and suffocating. I search her face for the daughter I once knew, the little girl who would curl up beside me with her favorite book, and I find only the cold glare of a stranger. Maybe you should just let me take the lead for once, she says, her voice laced with venom. You're old, Dad. You can't run this house forever. Watch your words, I warn, anger boiling beneath the surface. You may think you have the upper hand, but you don't know me as well as you think you do. I feel the resolve solidifying within me, a steel wall rising against her onslaught. I won't be a victim. Not anymore. Your accomplice, who is he? I ask, forcing my voice to remain steady. What does he have to do with this? Her gaze flickers, a crack appearing in her armor. Why does it matter? She snaps, but I can see the uncertainty lurking beneath her bravado. Because it matters to me, I reply, my voice low and steady. You're playing a dangerous game, Lena, and I intend to put a stop to it. Dad, you don't know what you're getting into, she says, her tone suddenly serious, almost pleading. This isn't just about you anymore. The finality of her words hangs in the air, a chilling reminder of the stakes at play. I straighten, my resolve hardening. No, it's about me, and I'm not backing down. With that, I turn and walk away, leaving her standing there, a storm of emotions swirling around her. The battle lines have been drawn, and I can feel the weight of the impending confrontation. As I step outside, the sun breaks fully over the horizon, illuminating the path ahead. I have a plan now, one that will reclaim my life from the clutches of betrayal. The dawn symbolizes my awakening, a new beginning as I prepare to fight for what is mine. With each step, I feel the fire within me grow, a fierce determination that will not be extinguished. I refuse to be a victim any longer. The dawn light trickles through the attic's dusty window panes, casting a muted glow on the cobwebs hanging like veils between shadows and forgotten spaces. I stand there, heart thumping in my chest, still replaying the echoes of Lena's voice, her words slicing through the darkness like a knife. It's for your own good, Dad. The betrayal washes over me like a cold wave, leaving behind a chilling sense of loss. Dad! Lena's voice breaks through my thoughts as she appears at the attic door, her expression a mask of feigned innocence. What are you doing up here? I force myself to meet her gaze, reminding myself of the resolve that has taken root within me. Just reminiscing, I reply, my voice steady despite the storm brewing inside. You know, this place holds memories. Yeah, it does, she says, stepping into the dim light. But maybe it's time to let some of those memories go. Her eyes dart away, and I catch the flicker of something darker beneath the surface. A hint of impatience, perhaps, or something more sinister. Is that what you really think? I challenge, my words sharp, not yet ready to retreat into the shell of the victim I've been. That it's time for me to let go of everything? My home, my life. She shrugs, a nonchalant gesture that only fuels the fire in my belly. It's just that. Just that what? I cut her off, feeling the tension thicken the air between us. Just that you and your accomplice plan to take everything from me while pretending it's for my own good? Her smile falters, revealing a crack in her carefully constructed facade. Dad, you're being dramatic. Dramatic, I echo, incredulous. You're the one who's conspiring with, what's his name? The man I once considered a friend? You think I'd let you walk all over me? Lena crosses her arms, the playful daughter I once knew slipping away, revealing the ambitious stranger I now face. You don't understand. I'm trying to help you. This place, it's old, it's falling apart. You need to think about your future. My mind races, each word she utters twisting like a dagger in my heart. My future or your future? Because from where I stand, it looks like you're more interested in my assets than in my well-being. The silence that follows is heavy, charged with unspoken truths. I watch as Lena's expression shifts, her mask slipping further with each passing moment. You don't get it, she replies, her voice dropping to a whisper. You're not capable of making sound decisions anymore. You're losing it. The accusation stings, igniting a fire within me. Losing it? No, Lena. I am finding clarity. I know what you're doing, and I won't allow it. A flicker of regret crosses her face, but it's quickly replaced by a steely resolve. You're making a mistake, Dad. A big one. Am I? I retort, stepping closer, feeling the heat of the confrontation. Or is it you who's making a mistake by underestimating me? By thinking I'm just going to roll over and let you take my life away? Her expression hardens, and for a moment, I see the girl I loved morph into someone I barely recognize. You'll regret this. Trust me. With that, she turns on her heel and storms out of the attic, leaving me alone with my racing thoughts and the dust motes swirling in the golden light. I can feel the weight of her words pressing down on me, but I push it aside. The time for passive acceptance is over. I descend the attic stairs, each creak of the wood echoing my determination. I need to speak with James, my lawyer, my lifeline. He is the only person who can help me navigate this treacherous terrain. The thought of discussing Lena's betrayal with him brings a sense of urgency, as if every moment wasted is another moment lost to her schemes. As I reach the kitchen, I pour a cup of coffee, bitter as my mood, and let the steam rise, filling the room with the aroma of a new day. The sun is just beginning to break over the horizon, casting a warm glow that feels impossibly at odds with the chill in my heart. I glance at my phone, the clock ticking louder than ever. Time is slipping away, and I refuse to let it take me with it. I dial James' number, the anticipation buzzing in my chest like the whir of a trapped bee. He answers on the second ring, his voice steady and reassuring. Mr. Thompson, good morning. What can I do for you? James, I need to meet. It's urgent. I say, urgency lacing my tone. Of course. Is everything all right? No. Far from it. I reply, my voice clipped. It's about Lena. I overheard her plan. She's trying to take everything from me. A pause hangs in the air, heavy with the weight of my revelation. I see. Where and when can we meet? Can you come over? I'll be waiting. "Give me 30 minutes," he says before hanging up, and I feel a strange mix of fear and relief course through me. I'm not alone in this battle. I have a plan, and I will not be a victim. The half-hour feels like an eternity. I pace the kitchen, my mind racing through potential scenarios. What if Lena has already set her plans in motion? What if her accomplice is already working behind the scenes? I can almost feel the walls closing in, the shadows whispering of betrayal and deceit. When the doorbell finally rings, I leap towards it, throwing the door open to reveal James standing there, his expression a mask of professionalism mixed with concern. "Mr. Thompson," he greets, stepping inside. "Let's talk." We settle at the kitchen table, the coffee between us a silent witness to the brewing storm. I pour him a cup, my hands steady despite the chaos inside. I overheard Lena in the attic with, I hesitate, the name of her accomplice feeling like poison on my tongue. With someone I thought I could trust. They're planning to take my home, my finances. James leans in, his brow furrowing. "What exactly did you hear?" I recount the conversation, every word like a stone dropped into a still pond, creating ripples of tension. As I speak, I see the realization settle in his eyes, a mix of pity and determination. "This is serious," he says, his voice low. "We need to act quickly. Do you have any evidence of this conversation?" "No, just my word." I admit, frustration creeping in. "But I can't let this happen." "I won't." James nods, his expression shifting from concern to resolve. "We'll need to gather evidence. I suggest documenting everything. Any interactions you have with Lena, any correspondence that can indicate her intent. We may even need to consider recording conversations." I nod, the weight of his words sinking in. "I can do that. I'll start today." "Good. And we should also look into your financial documents. Make sure nothing is being changed without your knowledge." The thought sends a shiver down my spine. I'll lock everything up. I can't let her manipulate me anymore. James leans back, surveying me with an intensity that makes me feel seen for the first time in days. "Mr. Thompson, I know this is difficult, but you need to stand your ground. Lena may be your daughter, but she is not the same girl you once knew. You cannot let emotions cloud your judgment." I swallow hard, the truth of his words resonating deep within me. I know. It's just hard to reconcile the daughter I loved with this stranger who stands before me now. He leans forward, his voice steady. "Remember why you need to do this. Not just for yourself, but for the integrity of your family. You're fighting not just for your home, but for the respect you deserve." I nod, feeling the flicker of resolve reignite within me. "You're right. I'll do whatever it takes." "Then let's put a plan in motion," he says, the shadows of the kitchen retreating just a little. "We'll meet regularly to discuss your progress. But first, I want you to take a moment and breathe. Prepare yourself for what's to come." As he speaks, I feel a sense of empowerment swelling inside me, a reminder of the strength I didn't know I had. I won't be a victim. I will reclaim my life, my dignity, and my home from the clutches of betrayal. With every word exchanged, the shadows of the past begin to lift, revealing a path forward. A path where I will stand my ground and fight with every ounce of strength I possess. The rising sun outside mirrors my resolve, shining brighter as it chases away the darkness of betrayal. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter, one where I refuse to be a bystander in my own life. I will rise to the challenge, and no one, not even my own daughter, will take that away from me. Dawn creeps in slowly, a shy visitor brushing the world with a soft golden hue. The attic, once a fortress of memories, now feels like a cage, its shadows heavy and suffocating. I sit on the edge of an old, dust-covered trunk, the wood splintering beneath my weight, and I feel the weight of my betrayal pressing down on my chest. The eerie silence around me is punctuated only by the faint rustle of the leaves outside, as if the house itself is holding its breath, waiting for the inevitable confrontation. I clutch my phone tightly, the cold plastic digging into my palm, a reminder of the call I made just before dawn. James, my lawyer, had answered with a voice thick with sleep, but he quickly shifted into professional mode as I recounted the harrowing events of the night. The betrayal washed over me like a cold wave, freezing the warmth of my memories with Lena. I could hear the gears turning in his mind, the distance between us shrinking as we both navigated the treacherous waters of familial deceit. "Take a breath, Mr. Thompson," he had said, his voice steady. "We need to gather evidence. Document every conversation, every interaction. I'll prepare a strategy, but you must be prepared for what's coming. It won't be easy." His words echoed in my mind now, a mantra that both reassured and terrified me. I am not merely a victim. I am a father who must protect his legacy. The thought ignites a flicker of determination within me, but it is extinguished just as quickly by the memories of laughter and shared moments with Lena that now feel like a cruel joke. I squeeze my eyes shut, trying to block out the ghosts of the past, but they linger just beyond the veil of my consciousness. I remember her first steps, her laughter bubbling like a brook, the way she would curl up beside me during stormy nights, seeking comfort in my presence. Those moments feel like shards of glass embedded deep within my heart, each one a reminder of what I stand to lose. The door creaks open, and I jerk my head up, my heart racing. Lena stands there, framed in the doorway, her silhouette backlit by the morning light. The air shifts, charged with an unspoken tension, as if the attic itself is holding its breath, anticipating the storm that is about to break. "Dad." Her voice is soft, an attempt at innocence that feels foreign and hollow. "What are you doing up here?" I can't help but notice the way she bites her lip, the familiar gesture that once melted my heart now twisting my gut into knots. The sight of her stirs conflicting emotions, love intertwined with betrayal, trust shattered by greed. "I could ask you the same question, Lena," I reply, my voice steady despite the tumult raging within me. "What were you planning with that man?" Her eyes widen, a flicker of surprise igniting before she masks it with a practiced smile. "It's not what you think, Dad. I was just trying to help you." The words spill out like honey, sweet but cloying, and I can feel the bitterness rising in my throat. "Help me?" I echo, incredulous. "By plotting behind my back?" "Heard you, Lena. I heard everything." The accusation hangs in the air, thick and suffocating. As I take a step closer, the space between us charged with tension. She takes a step back, her expression shifting from feigned innocence to defiance, a mask slipping away to reveal the true face of her ambition. "You don't understand. I'm looking out for your best interests. You're getting older, and you need someone to manage things for you." Her words twist like a knife, slicing through my resolve. "Manage things?" I can't keep the incredulity from my voice. "You think I'm so helpless that I can't manage my own life? You're plotting to take everything from me." "Lena." Suddenly, I am transported back to the day she graduated, her cap flying high as she beamed with pride. I had felt invincible then, a father who had done right by his child. Now that pride feels like ashes in my mouth. "Don't you see?" she presses, her tone shifting, becoming more urgent. "This house, all of it. It's too much for you. I'm trying to save you from yourself." The desperation in her voice is palpable, a thin veneer over her true intentions. "Save me?" I scoff, my heart racing as anger pulses through my veins. "Or save yourself, Lena? You've never cared about what I wanted. This is about you and your greed." I can see the flush creeping up her neck, the warmth of embarrassment mixing with the chill of anger. "You're being unreasonable, Dad," she snaps, the facade cracking. "I'm your daughter. I want what's best for you." The declaration hangs in the air, a desperate plea that feels more like a threat. "Your best interests?" I challenge, my voice low and steady. "What about mine? What about the years I spent raising you, trusting you?" You've betrayed that trust, Lena. You've betrayed me. Her eyes glisten with unshed tears, but I refuse to back down. There's a fire in me now, a surge of determination that cuts through the fog of betrayal. I will not let her manipulate me any longer. I'm calling my lawyer, and I'm going to protect what's mine. I declare, each word laced with conviction. Dad, please, she pleads, her voice trembling. You don't understand what you're doing. The world is different now. You need to adapt. And you need to remember who you are. I shoot back, my heart pounding. This isn't about adapting. It's about respect, loyalty, values you seem to have forgotten. The silence stretches between us, a chasm filled with anguish and unresolved tension. I can see the wheels turning in her mind, the desperation morphing into something darker, more scheming. You think you can fight me? She scoffs, her voice laced with venom. You're out of touch, Dad. The law favors the young and ambitious. Maybe, I respond, steeling myself against the wave of dread that washes over me. But I have experience and I have truth on my side. You may think you can manipulate the system, but I won't let you. With that, I turn away from her, feeling the walls of the attic closing in as I grapple with the reality of my newfound resolve. I can no longer be a passive victim in this game. I will gather evidence. I will document her actions, and I will fight to protect what I hold dear. Lena's voice pierces through my thoughts, a desperate attempt to regain control. You'll regret this, Dad. You're making a mistake. I pause, the weight of her words settling heavily in the air. No, Lena. The mistake was trusting you. With that, I push past her, the attic door creaking ominously as I step into the light of the new day. The sun breaks through the clouds, casting away the shadows that had lingered in that musty room. I can feel the warmth on my face, a reminder that there is still hope, still a chance to reclaim what I've lost. As I descend the stairs, I can hear the faint sound of Lena's sobs echoing behind me, a haunting melody that stirs a mixture of sadness and resolve within me. I have fought to protect her for too long, and now it's time to protect myself. I resolve to meet with James later today to lay out the groundwork for my defense. I will gather evidence, confront her accomplice, and unearth the truth behind Lena's motivations. The world outside is vibrant and alive, a stark contrast to the suffocating darkness of the attic. The sun rises higher, illuminating a path ahead, and I feel the tendrils of empowerment wrapping around me like a warm embrace. I am not just a father anymore. I am a man ready to reclaim his life. With each step I take, the weight of betrayal begins to lift, replaced by a growing sense of purpose and strength. I will not let the darkness consume me. I will fight back, not just for myself, but for the memories of the daughter I once knew, the one who brought joy into my life before the shadows overtook her heart. The battle is just beginning, and this time I will be ready. The dawn light slanted through the attic window, casting long shadows that danced across the dust-laden floor. My heart thudded in my chest like a war drum, each beat echoing the betrayal I had just witnessed. Lena's words lingered in my mind, a chilling whisper that wrapped around my thoughts like fog. We can take everything from him, Lena. He won't even see it coming. The very air felt heavy, thick with the weight of secrets and lies. I descended the narrow staircase, each creaking step a reminder of the memories embedded in the wood, birthdays filled with laughter, late-night talks about dreams, and the countless sacrifices I had made for her happiness. Those moments now felt like fragments of a shattered mirror, beautiful yet grotesque in their distortion. In the kitchen, I poured myself a cup of coffee, the bitter aroma cutting through the morning stillness. Outside, the world was waking up, oblivious to my storm. Birds chirped merrily, their songs a cruel contrast to the chaos brewing within me. How could Lena, my little girl, have become this stranger? The thought pricked at my heart, sharp as a knife. I picked up my phone, hesitation creeping in as I scrolled through my contacts. James, my lawyer, a man I trusted, but now I felt a pang of uncertainty. Would he understand the depth of my pain? Or would he see me merely as a client? I took a deep breath, steadying the tumult of emotions swirling inside me. I needed to act, and I needed to act swiftly. James, I said, my voice steady but strained as I dialed his number. Mr. Thompson, good morning. What can I do for you? His voice was warm, a stark contrast to the chill gnawing at my insides. Can we meet? It's urgent. Of course. How about the cafe down the street in an hour? Make it 30 minutes, I replied, urgency flooding my tone. I'll be there. As I hung up, I felt a flicker of determination ignite within me, pushing back against the tide of despair. This wasn't just about the house or the money. It was about reclaiming my life, my dignity. The walls of my home had become a cage, and I was ready to break free. I dressed quickly, the fabric of my shirt feeling suffocating against my skin. I glanced in the mirror, searching for the man I once was, a father, a protector, a dreamer. The reflection staring back at me was a stranger, eyes shadowed with betrayal and resolve. I swallowed hard, pushing down the uncertainty that threatened to rise. The cafe bustled with morning energy when I arrived, customers chatting, the smell of fresh pastries wafting through the air. I spotted James at a corner table, his laptop open, fingers flying across the keys. He looked up as I approached, his expression shifting from focus to concern. Mr. Thompson, you look. Let's skip the pleasantries, I interrupted, dropping into the chair across from him. I need your help. It's about Lena. James's brows knitted together. What's happened? I leaned in, voice low yet urgent. I overheard her planning something with someone. They're plotting to take my home, my finances. I need to know how to protect myself. His eyes widened, a flicker of surprise crossing his face. That's serious. Do you have any evidence? I have their words, I replied, the chill of my discovery swirling in my gut. I heard them. I know who she's working with. An acquaintance of mine, someone I trusted. James nodded, his demeanor shifting to that of a strategist. We need to document everything. If Lena is colluding with someone to take advantage of you, we can build a case. Case. The word tasted bitter on my tongue. I never thought I'd have to file a case against my own daughter. Sometimes the hardest battles are fought against those we love, he said gently, his voice steadying me. Have you confronted her? I did, I admitted, the memory igniting a fresh wave of anger. I told her I knew, but she just tried to manipulate me, playing the victim. Then we need to gather all the evidence we can. Emails, texts, anything that shows intent. This isn't just about the house. It's about her intent to deceive you, to exploit your trust. As he spoke, I felt a surge of resolve, like a dam breaking against the relentless tide. I'll get everything I can. I won't let her take what I've worked for all these years. James's expression softened, a flicker of pride in his eyes. Good. We'll move quickly. I'll prepare a cease and desist letter. It'll send a clear message that you're not to be trifled with. The thought of taking action against Lena felt foreign, yet exhilarating. I had spent so long in the shadows, and now I was stepping into the light, ready to fight for my future. What should I do next? I asked, leaning forward. Start by documenting everything. Keep a record of your interactions with her. If she approaches you, engage her. Get her to say more. We can use her words against her. As I listened, the gears in my mind began to turn. This was no longer just about self-preservation. It was about reclaiming my power, about standing firm against the betrayal that had threatened to consume me. James, I said, the weight of determination settling in my chest. I want to confront her again. I want to make it clear that I'm not afraid of her schemes. Be careful, Mr. Thompson. This could escalate, he warned, his tone serious. I understand the risks, but I won't let fear dictate my life anymore." James nodded, a glimmer of respect in his eyes. "All right, I'll draft that letter, and in the meantime, prepare yourself. You have the strength to face this. Don't underestimate your resolve." As I left the cafe, the world outside was bathed in the soft glow of dawn, the shadows receding as the sun climbed higher. I felt a shift within me, as if I had shed a layer of skin, revealing a fiercer version of myself. The air was crisp and invigorating, a stark contrast to the heaviness I had felt just hours before. I returned home, the familiar walls no longer suffocating, but rather a battleground where I would reclaim my life. The attic loomed above me, a reminder of the secrets it held and the betrayal I had uncovered. I needed to prepare, to gather my thoughts and steel my resolve. As I ascended the stairs, I could almost hear Lena's laughter echoing through the hallways, a haunting melody that now felt foreign. I stepped into the attic, the dust swirling around me like a shroud, and closed my eyes. Memories flooded back. The little girl who would twirl in her princess dress, the teenager with big dreams. But now I was faced with a different reality. I opened my eyes, determination coursing through my veins. I wouldn't let the past cloud my vision. I needed to face Lena, to remind her of the love we once shared and the values I had instilled in her. I grabbed a notepad and pen, jotting down the key points I wanted to address. "Lena, this isn't just about money. It's about family. It's about trust." Each word felt like a dagger aimed at the heart of her deceit. Moments later, I heard the sound of the front door opening, the soft click echoing through the house. My heart raced as I quickly tucked the notepad away, the tension tightening around me like a noose. She was home. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for the confrontation that was about to unfold. The time for hiding was over. The dawn had broken, and with it, a new chapter in my life was beginning. One where I would no longer be a victim, but a warrior ready to fight for what was rightfully mine. As Lena stepped into the living room, our eyes met. The innocence I once saw in her gaze had been replaced by something darker, something calculating. And in that moment, I knew this battle would not be easy, but it was one I was more than ready to fight. The early morning light seeps through the gaps in the attic's wooden beams, casting long shadows that dance across the dust-laden floor. I sit on the edge of an old trunk, the kind that holds memories I once cherished, snapshots of happier times, laughter echoing in the hallways of my mind. But those echoes feel hollow now, like a haunting refrain that underscores my new reality. Lena's betrayal hangs in the air, heavy and suffocating. As I clutch a notepad filled with my hastily penned thoughts, my plan taking shape like a storm brewing on the horizon. The chill of dawn brushes against my skin, a sharp contrast to the fire igniting in my chest. I'm no longer just a father caught in a web of deceit. I'm a man who has awakened to the truth. I shake off the remnants of sleep and the lingering whispers of doubt that threaten to creep back in, reminding myself of the resolve I found in the quiet of the night. I glance around the attic, my sanctuary turned crucible. The walls, once adorned with my daughter's childhood drawings, now seem to mock me, their colors faded like my faith in Lena. The attic is a mausoleum of our past, and I feel the weight of every memory pressing down on me. I have to remind myself, I'm not losing everything. I'm reclaiming my life. With the soft creak of the floorboards beneath my feet, I descend the narrow staircase, each step a reminder of the distance I must traverse, not just from the attic but also from the father I used to be. I reach the kitchen and pour myself a cup of coffee, the rich aroma filling the air, grounding me in the present. I'm still here, still standing, and I won't let her take that away from me. The sun peaks over the horizon, bathing the world in a golden hue, but in my heart, darkness lingers. I pull out my phone and scroll through my contacts until I find James's name. He's been my lawyer for years, a man I trust implicitly, yet sitting here now, I question if anyone can truly be trusted. The thought gnaws at me like a hungry wolf. I hit call, and the phone rings, each chime echoing my rising anxiety. "Mr. Thompson?" James answers, his voice steady and reassuring. "What can I do for you?" "James?" I begin, my voice low and strained. "I need to meet. Now. Is everything all right?" "No, it's not. I heard something from Lena that changes everything. I need your expertise, and I need it fast." "Understood. I can be at your place in 30 minutes. Is that good?" "Make it 20. I reply, urgency lacing my tone. "I'll be ready." I hang up, the reality of my situation crashing down on me again like waves against a rocky shore. I need to gather my thoughts, prepare myself for what comes next. I can't afford to falter. Not now. I take a moment to breathe, letting the steam from my coffee warm my hands. This is a battle I must win, not just for myself but for the man I used to be, the father I still want to be. Minutes crawl by, each tick of the clock amplifying my anxiety. I pace the kitchen, the floorboards creaking beneath my weight, a rhythmic reminder of the storm brewing within me. I replay the conversation with Lena in my mind, the way her eyes glinted with something far removed from love, greed, ambition, betrayal. Each word she spoke was a dagger, and I must ensure she doesn't plunge them into my heart any deeper. Finally, the doorbell rings, a sharp sound that jolts me from my thoughts. I open the door to find James standing there, his expression a mask of professionalism, but I notice the flicker of concern in his eyes. He steps inside, his briefcase in hand, and I lead him to the kitchen, where the sunlight pours in like liquid gold. "Let's get straight to it," I say, pouring him a cup of coffee, then gesturing toward the chair across from me. "I heard Lena's plan last night. She's trying to take everything, and she has someone helping her." James raises an eyebrow, his interest piqued. "What do you know about this accomplice?" "Not much, just a name. Someone I used to trust. She's weaving a web of lies, and I need to gather evidence before she makes her move." "Do you have any proof? Texts? Emails?" he asks, leaning forward, his demeanor shifting from casual to serious. I shake my head. "Nothing concrete yet, but I'm going to document everything from now on. I'll record our conversations, keep track of her actions. I can't let her catch me off guard again." James nods, his expression thoughtful. "That's a good start. We can use that to build a case. But you need to be careful, Mr. Thompson. If she suspects you're onto her, she might escalate her plans." I swallow hard, tasting the bitter reality of my situation. "I know, but I'm not going to let her run me out of my own home. This was my life, my legacy, and I won't let her destroy it." James studies me for a moment, then speaks, his voice low. "I believe you. We can file for a restraining order if necessary, but first we need to gather evidence. What I suggest is that you keep a detailed log of every interaction you have with her. If she makes a move, we'll be ready." I nod, absorbing his words like a sponge, feeling the weight of determination settle in my chest. "I'll do whatever it takes to protect what's mine." "Then let's create a plan," James says, his focus sharp and unwavering. "We'll need to strategize. If you're going to confront her, I suggest doing it in a controlled environment. Somewhere she won't expect it. Like the coffee shop down the street? I suggest the familiar place coming to mind. A neutral ground where she might let her guard down." "Exactly. You can gauge her reaction without the pressure of home. But remember, don't show your hand too soon. Keep your intentions close." I nod again, my heart racing with the thrill of plotting my own course, the power of taking control flooding my veins. For too long, I've been a bystander in my own life, but now, I'm stepping back into the arena. "I won't let her win," I say, my voice steady, each word a promise to myself. James stands, closing his briefcase with a soft click. "I'll be in touch. Keep your phone handy and remember, be vigilant. She'll be watching." As he leaves, I find myself standing alone in the kitchen again, the sunlight pouring in brighter than before. It washes over me, warming my skin, and for the first time, I feel a flicker of hope amidst the chaos. I'm not just a victim, I'm a fighter. The day stretches out before me, a canvas yet to be painted with the colors of my resolve. I will gather my evidence, confront Lena, and reclaim my life. The dawn is breaking not just outside my window but within me, a symbol of new beginnings, and I am ready to embrace it. I take a deep breath, letting the air fill my lungs, and exhale slowly, the weight of uncertainty lifting just a little. I am Mr. Thompson, and I will not be pushed aside. I will rise, and when I do, Lena will see that I'm not the man she thought I was. I am stronger, and I am ready for whatever comes next. The dawn light creeps through the attic's grimy window, casting a feeble glow on the dust motes dancing in the stale air. I stand frozen, my heart thrumming against my ribs like a caged bird desperate for escape. The betrayal washes over me like a cold wave, leaving me breathless and shivering in its wake. I can still hear Lena's laughter echoing in my ears, a haunting melody twisted by the sharp notes of greed and conspiracy. I clutch my phone tightly, the screen illuminated with the name James, as if it were a lifeline thrown into turbulent waters. I had called him just moments ago, urgency lacing my voice like a bitter herb. He had promised to meet me at dawn, a time when shadows still clung to the corners of my mind, and the world was poised on the precipice of light. Every creak of the old floorboards beneath my feet feels like a reminder of the foundations of trust crumbling around me. Memories flood my mind, vivid and painful. Lena as a child, her bright laughter echoing in this very attic as she played hide and seek among the forgotten relics of our lives. How did it come to this? My beloved daughter plotting my downfall alongside a man I once called a friend? I descend the rickety staircase, each step a battle against the rising tide of anger and sorrow. The house feels different now. It no longer cradles warmth but looms like a fortress besieged by treachery. I can almost hear the walls whispering secrets, their breath heavy with the weight of my past decisions. As I reach the kitchen, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee fills the air, a comforting balm amidst the chaos. I pour myself a cup, the rich liquid steaming against my palm, grounding me as I prepare for the confrontation ahead. My mind races, what will I say to Lena? How do I confront the child I've loved so fiercely, now turned into a stranger? Just as I take a sip, the door swings open, and James steps in, his presence cutting through the tension like a knife through silk. He's a tall man with a measured demeanor, always dressed sharp enough to slice through the fog of uncertainty. Today, however, his brow is furrowed, concern etched into every line of his face. "Mr. Thompson," he greets me, his voice steady yet laced with urgency. "You sounded distressed on the phone. What's happened?" I place the cup down with a clatter, the sound reverberating through the silence. "It's Lena," I begin, my voice trembling slightly. "I heard her in the attic, plotting with someone. I think they're planning to take everything from me. My house, my money. I have to stop them." James nods, his eyes narrowing thoughtfully. "We need to gather evidence, then. You mentioned the accomplice. Do you know who he is?" I shake my head, frustration gnawing at my insides. "He's just some man. I have no idea what he wants, but I can't let Lena fall for his lies. She's my daughter, James. I can't believe she'd do this." James places a hand on my shoulder, a gesture of solidarity. "We'll figure this out. I'll help you, but you need to be cautious. If she suspects anything, she may act impulsively. We need to tread carefully." I nod, feeling the resolve harden within me, like steel forged in fire. I'll do whatever it takes to protect my home. This isn't just about money. It's about my legacy, my life's work. "Good," James replies, his voice firm. "Let's start by documenting everything. Keep a record of your interactions with Lena. If she's up to something, We'll need to prove it in court. I take a deep breath, the weight of the situation settling into my bones. I'll keep a journal. Every conversation, every glance. Nothing will escape my notice. James hands me a small notebook and a pen. Write down your thoughts, your feelings. It'll help you process what's happening, and it may come in handy later. As I scribble down the first few lines, I can feel the shadows of doubt creeping in. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm the one betraying her trust? But deep down, the truth burns brighter than any fleeting fear. I cannot allow myself to be naive. Just as I finish writing, the front door creaks open again, and Lena steps inside, her expression brightening with an innocence that feels like a slap in the face. Dad, James, what are you guys doing here so early? The air thickens with tension, a taut string ready to snap. I glance at James, whose face is a mask of professionalism, but I can see the concern flickering in his eyes. Just discussing some business, I reply, forcing a casual tone that feels foreign against my racing heart. Lena arches an eyebrow, suspicion dancing in her gaze. Business? At this hour? You know I hate it when you guys talk shop in the morning. Just a few matters to sort out. I manage, my voice steady but strained. What about you? What were you doing in the attic? Her smile falters for the briefest moment, a crack in her carefully maintained facade. Oh, just looking for some old things. You know how I like to tidy up. Tidy up. The words slip out before I can stop myself. It's been years since anyone went up there. Lena's eyes narrow slightly, a spark of defiance igniting them. Well, I'm trying to be more responsible. You should appreciate that. I feel the urge to confront her, to ask about the man she was with, but I hold back, a dam of restraint keeping my questions at bay. I do appreciate you wanting to help, Lena. Just be careful with what you find. Some things are better left alone. Sure, Dad. She brushes off my words, but I see the flicker of uncertainty in her expression. Anyway, I'm starving. Can we make breakfast together? The request feels loaded, as if each word is a thread in a web of deception. I'd like that, I reply, forcing a smile that feels more like a grimace. As we move to the kitchen, I feel James' presence fade into the background, his eyes scanning the room as if searching for clues hidden beneath the surface. I try to engage in casual conversation, but my heart isn't in it. Every laugh, every smile, feels like a mask hiding the truth. While we cook, I keep a watchful eye on Lena, noting the way her fingers dance over the countertop, the anxious bounce of her leg as she waits for the eggs to finish. She's hiding something. I can feel it in my bones. Lena, I venture, my voice steady but laced with caution. Are you happy? I mean really happy. She pauses, her spatula hovering mid-air as if the question has thrown her off balance. Of course, Dad. Why wouldn't I be? I want to press further, to peel back the layers of her facade, but the words get lodged in my throat. Instead, I change the subject, forcing myself to focus on the mundane tasks of breakfast preparation. But the unease lingers, a ghost haunting the edges of our interactions. As we sit down to eat, the tension wraps around us like a shroud, heavy and suffocating. I was thinking we could take a trip soon, Lena suddenly says, breaking the silence. Maybe a weekend getaway? Just us. Could be fun. A weekend getaway? My mind whirls at the implications. Is this her way of diverting my attention? A chance to solidify her plans while luring me into a false sense of security? Sounds nice. I reply, though my heart races with the suspicion that it's a distraction from something far more sinister. As I chew, I glance at James, who catches my eye and nods slightly. A silent agreement passed between us. I need to stay vigilant to keep my guard up. Lena's smile may be warm, but her intentions remain shrouded in darkness. With each bite, I feel the resolve hardening within me. This is just the beginning. I'll uncover the truth, and when I do, I'll be ready. Ready to reclaim my life from the clutches of betrayal and protect the legacy I've built against all odds. As the sun rises higher, casting a golden hue across the kitchen, I realize this moment is not just a meal, it's the calm before the storm, and I am prepared to face whatever tempest lies ahead. Dawn breaks over the horizon, casting a soft, golden light that spills into the attic through the grimy window panes. The dust motes dance in the air, but they do little to lighten the heaviness in my heart. I sit on the rickety wooden chair, the weight of the world pressing down on my shoulders, the betrayal still fresh like a wound that refuses to heal. Lena's words echo in my mind, sharp and piercing, like shards of glass lodged deep within me. I need to act, I whisper to myself, my voice barely breaking the stillness. The attic feels like a world apart, filled with shadows that hide memories I once cherished. I can still see the old toys, the books stacked carelessly on shelves, remnants of a simpler time when Lena's laughter filled these walls. Now, those echoes are tainted, a bittersweet reminder of what has been lost. I can't let her win. The thought ignites a flicker of determination within me. I stand, the chair creaking in protest as I rise. I need to gather evidence, solid proof of her treachery that will shatter the illusion she has built around herself. But where to start? My mind races through the conversations I've had with James, my lawyer, the careful strategies we've discussed. I have to act quickly. Every moment spent hesitating is a moment she can use to solidify her plans. Descending the attic stairs, I feel the coolness of the wooden steps beneath my feet, a stark contrast to the oppressive heat of my emotions. Each step feels heavier than the last, as if the house itself is trying to pull me back, to keep me ensnared in this web of betrayal. I reach the bottom, and for a moment I linger in the hallway, the familiar scent of polished wood and aged books enveloping me like a comforting blanket. But that comfort quickly dissipates as I recall Lena's icy demeanor when I confronted her. As I step into the kitchen, the sunlight streams through the window, illuminating the space with a warmth that feels foreign. I pour myself a cup of coffee, the rich aroma filling the air, but it does nothing to soothe my frayed nerves. I need to call James to set our plan into motion. I grab my phone, hesitating momentarily as I glance around the room. Everything seems unchanged, yet every object feels imbued with a sense of foreboding. James? I say when he picks up, my voice strained. I need to meet. Now. Mr. Thompson, is everything all right? His voice is steady, but I can hear the underlying concern. Not even close. It's about Lena. I need your help to gather evidence against her. The words tumble out, urgent and desperate. Okay, let's meet at my office. I'll make time, he replies, and I can almost hear the gears turning in his mind. I hang up, a whirlwind of thoughts swirling in my head. Lena's masked intentions, the man who stands beside her, the life I worked so hard to build. All of it feels precarious. I swallow hard, the bitterness of betrayal rising like bile in my throat. I need to reclaim what is rightfully mine, to confront the darkness that has seeped into my home and my heart. With a deep breath, I grab my jacket and head out the door. The morning air is crisp, invigorating, yet it does little to quell the storm brewing inside me. The drive to James's office is filled with a cacophony of thoughts, each one more frantic than the last. I imagine Lena's face, the way she smirked when she thought I was oblivious. Anger surges through me, hot and unyielding. I grip the steering wheel tighter, knuckles whitening. When I arrive, James's office is a stark contrast to the turmoil within me. The walls are lined with books, neatly organized, and the air smells of fresh coffee and polished wood. He greets me with a nod, his expression serious as he motions for me to take a seat. Let's get started, he says, his tone professional yet tinged with empathy. What have you found out? I take a moment to gather my thoughts, the gravity of the situation pressing heavily on me. I overheard her in the attic, She's conspiring with someone I trusted. They're planning to take everything from me, James. My home, my finances, everything I've worked for. James leans forward, his eyes narrowing. We need to establish a timeline. Do you have any concrete evidence? Texts? Emails? Anything? I shake my head, frustration clawing at my insides.
No.
Just what I heard. But I can feel it in my bones. She's lying to me, playing me for a fool. He nods, acknowledging the weight of my words. You need to be careful. If she suspects you're onto her, she may escalate her plans. We can't afford to take any risks. The tension in the room thickens, each word hanging in the air like a dark cloud. What do we do? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. We gather evidence discreetly, he replies, his mind already racing ahead. I'll help you track her movements. If she's meeting with this accomplice, we need to know who it is. Surveillance might be necessary. The thought sends a shiver down my spine. The idea of spying on my own daughter feels wrong. Yet the urgency of the situation outweighs my moral reservations. I'll do whatever it takes. I say, my resolve hardening. I can't let her win. James gives me a reassuring nod, but I can see the concern etched on his face. Remember, Mr. Thompson, this is a delicate situation. We need to tread carefully. The last thing we want is to push her into a corner. I exhale slowly, the weight of his warning sinking in. I understand. I can't lose everything. Let's set a plan in motion, he says, his voice firm. We'll gather as much information as possible, and when the time is right, we'll confront her. With the evidence in hand, we can dismantle her plans and protect your interests. I nod, feeling a mixture of fear and determination coursing through me. This is more than just a battle for my home. It's a fight for my dignity, my legacy. I can't allow Lena's greed to overshadow the life I've built. As we continue to strategize, I find myself lost in thought, memories swirling around me like autumn leaves caught in a gust of wind. Lena's laughter, her first steps, her innocent trust. Each moment feels like a blade, twisting deeper into my heart. How did we end up here? The answer is both simple and complex, a gradual descent into betrayal cloaked in love. After what feels like hours, we finalize our plan. I leave James's office with a sense of purpose igniting within me, a determination to reclaim my life from the shadows that threaten to consume it. The drive home feels different, charged with a newfound energy. I'm no longer a passive victim, waiting for the storm to pass. I'm ready to weather it head-on. Returning to the house, I step inside, the familiar creaks and groans of the old structure echoing my turmoil. Yet, as I stand in the living room, I feel a subtle shift. The house no longer feels like a sanctuary but a battlefield, and I am prepared to fight for every inch of ground it represents. In the silence, I hear a noise, a soft shuffling from upstairs. My heart races as I move cautiously toward the staircase. Could it be Lena? My mind races with possibilities, each one more sinister than the last. I ascend the stairs, every step echoing in the stillness. The door to her room is slightly ajar, and I can see the faint glimmer of her silhouette against the wall. My breath catches in my throat as I contemplate my next move. Should I confront her now, or wait until I have the upper hand? The decision weighs heavily, but one thing is clear. I am no longer the man she can manipulate. I am the storm that will rise against her treachery, and with each passing moment, I grow stronger, more resolute. With the dawn of a new day, I am ready to reclaim my life and take back what is mine. And this time, I will not let betrayal define me.